You know, when you hear the word budget, does your mind immediately jump to stress? Maybe sacrifice? Well, you're not alone. But what if I told you it was actually the key to financial freedom? Today, we're going to break down a simple system designed to put you in complete control of your money. Let's just clear up a huge misconception right from the start. That word, budget, it so often makes us think of restriction, of having to say no to everything fun. But that's really not what it's about. True budgeting isn't about feeling poor, it's about gaining power over your money so you can intentionally build the life you actually want. All right, so the first thing we need to do is really focus on this idea. We have to reframe budgeting. It's not an act of restriction, it's an act of control. And honestly, that fundamental shift in mindset changes absolutely everything. Here's a good way to think about it. Without a budget, it's kind of like you're just a passenger in your own financial life. Money comes in and then it goes out, a lot of times without any clear purpose. A budget, though, a budget makes you the pilot. You decide the destination, you chart the course, and you tell every single dollar what its job is. So you can really see the difference here, can't you? On one side, you've got this default state that so many of us fall into. Money just seems to vanish, it creates constant stress, and you're left trying to save whatever scraps are left over at the end of the month. But on the other side, a budget creates intention. It creates freedom because you plan for your savings first. And this, right here, is the ultimate payoff. This isn't just about managing your monthly bills. It's about building a solid foundation that helps you avoid debt, invest in your goals, and handle whatever life decides to throw at you. I mean, you are literally designing your own future. Okay, so let's get into the how. Because, theory is great and all, but we need a practical system that actually works. And one of the most effective and easy to follow methods out there is the 50-30-20 rule. So this gives you a nice, clean, bird's eye view of the whole system. It's a simple framework for dividing up your after-tax income into 3 main buckets. So let's break down what actually goes into each of these slices. Okay, first up is the biggest piece of the pie. 50% of your income goes to your needs. Now, these are the absolute essentials. Think of it as your cost of living, the things you have to pay just to maintain your daily life, like your rent or mortgage, groceries, getting to work, and, keeping the lights on. And here's the part that proves budgeting isn't about deprivation. The next 30% is for your wants. See, the system specifically carves out a big chunk of your money for the things that make life fun. Dinner out with friends, your hobbies, that new gadget you've been eyeing, or a weekend trip. This is planned spending on your lifestyle. And last, but definitely not least, is the category that builds your future, that 20% for savings. And this isn't just about money sitting in a bank account. No, this is your tool. It's for paying down debt, building up an emergency fund for those unexpected curveballs, and investing for your long-term goals like retirement or a down payment on a house. Now look, it's really important to remember that this is a guideline, right? It's not some rigid, unbreakable law. If your income is a little lower or your cost of living is particularly high, your needs might take up more than 50%. That's okay. You can adjust the percentages to something like 60-30-10. The key principle is to always, always save something, even if it's not the full 20%. Okay, so now it's time to turn all this theory into an actual plan. We're moving from the what to the how-to, with a simple step-by-step guide to creating your very first budget. And believe it or not, it really is this straightforward. First, you gotta know exactly what's coming in. Second, track what's going out for about a month, just to see the real picture. Third, go through that list and be honest with yourself. Categorize each expense as either a need or a want. Fourth, apply those percentages to your income. And fifth, and this part is critical, track your spending to make sure you're actually staying on plan. And listen, don't get bogged down trying to find the perfect app or the most complicated spreadsheet. Whether you use a simple notebook, a free app on your phone, or an Excel file, the specific tool you use is so much less important than the habit of using it consistently. All right, so starting a budget, that's one thing. But sticking with it, that's a whole other challenge. So to help you succeed, let's go over some of the most common mistakes people make when they're just starting out. The first big mistake I see people make is creating a budget that is just completely unrealistic. If you try to cut out all your wants and live on some kind of financial crash diet, you're just gonna burn out and quit. Your budget has to be sustainable for the long haul. Mistake number 2 is setting up this great plan and then never actually checking in on your progress. A budget is your roadmap, right? But tracking your spending, that's the GPS that tells you if you're actually on that road. Without it, your budget is just a well-intentioned guess. Life happens. The car breaks down, you get an unexpected medical bill. If you don't have a buffer, an emergency fund, these little surprises can completely derail your entire financial plan. Planning for the unexpected is a non-negotiable part of a healthy budget. And finally, please don't get discouraged if this doesn't feel natural right away. Like any new skill, budgeting takes time and practice to become an automatic habit. Just expect to make adjustments and give yourself some grace in those first few months. So now that we know what mistakes to avoid, how do we actually make sure we succeed? Well, this final section is all about building the habits that make your budget a permanent part of your financial life. Let's talk about 4 really powerful habits that'll help make your budget stick. First, a quick weekly check-in just to keep you on course. Second, celebrate the small wins. It really helps with motivation. Third, remember your budget is a living document. You have to adjust it when you get a pay raise or your rent changes. And finally, keep your goals visible somewhere to remind yourself why you're even doing this in the first place. When it all comes down to it, this is probably the most important thing to remember. Budgeting isn't something you do once and then forget about. It's an ongoing practice. It's a lifestyle that creates power, clarity, and control over your financial well-being. So I want to leave you with this one question to think about. Imagine a future where you aren't stressed about money, a future where every single dollar has a purpose that you assigned to it. What goals, what dreams, what level of freedom could you achieve if you were truly in control?